And a good Tuesday evening to you. I am First Alert Meteorologist David Ernst here with a weather update. Our next weather maker remains as it was yesterday. Still looking at a hot and muggy stretch of weather coming our way to end this week, and likely that continues for a couple of days into next week. So be prepared, have the AC tuned up and ready to go. If you'll be working out in that heat, make sure you're staying hydrated. Give yourself time to take breaks in the shade or the air conditioning, even better. We're looking at the hottest time in that spell coming in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Saturday, Wednesday are kind of like the bookends of that hot stretch. Humidity will be going up on Saturday, highs still at the mid-80s, but likely that we're closer to 90 degrees Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we'll start to slide back down. At least that is the way it is looking right now. We are streaming this on the WBAY TV 2 page as well as on our website and to the news app. You can find me on Facebook. It's David Ernst, WBAY meteorologist, and I've also got the QR code right there. That if you're watching this on a desktop, laptop, you can take out your smartphone, point that camera at the QR code right there on the screen, and you can get our free WBOI First Alert weather app. So that's what we're going to be talking about is the heat and the humidity, although I suppose before we get into that, might as well talk about the comfortable aspect of the forecast. Feeling very nice out for today. These were your high temperatures earlier this afternoon. Lower and middle 70s around the Fox Valley. Lakeside and even a few spots in the North Woods, upper 60s. So a little bit of a fall preview right there. Let me see if I've got the low temperatures map in here. I will we'll put that in and we'll take a look at the lows this morning as it was quite cool. And we're looking at another one of those cool nights tomorrow. So bear with me for just a second. Lows today. And we'll go ahead and call that up. Now, the average low temperature for this time of year is just starting to ease back down into the upper 50s. It peaks, the warmest that it is in July and into early August, where we have that normal low temperature right around 60 degrees, but 39 in Rhinelander this morning, 41 in Antigo. We were still in the low 50s around the Fox Valley, but likely that we are a little bit cooler as we get into your morning hours of Wednesday. The low temperatures I'm forecasting right now would put most of us down in the 40s. I'll have to double check and see when the last time we hit lows in the 40s around the Fox Valley was. In fact, why don't we go ahead and do that? Let me, we'll change computers here. Let you just stare at me for a little bit. I'm just heading out to the website for the National Weather Service, and we'll do a quick little archive search here of the observations for the Green Bay Airport is what I'm going to be looking up, just to see when the last time that we were down in the 40s for a low temperature in Green Bay was. So let's check out the climate here. We'll go with preliminary climate data. So far this month, the coolest morning we have had outside of this morning, which of course we had a low in the lower 50s, 50 to 52 around the Fox Cities. We've had a couple of warnings in the mid 50s, 54. A couple of those August 9th and 10th. We were at 54 degrees, so this morning we were cooler than that. Let's dial it back here, take a look at July, and let's see, 53 for a night there, 54 again. Nothing below that. 50 degrees on July 1st. So still no 40s. I don't know that we had any 40s in June either. 51 there on June 30th. Let's see. Okay, June 10th and June 11th, 46 degrees, the low temperature. So it's been 2 months since we've had numbers that were as cool as what is in the forecast right now. It's definitely been a little while since we've had lows down in the upper half of the 40s. And again, could see some of those typically cooler areas, those sheltered spots, low-lying valleys and the like across the North Woods, where we may in fact dip our way down into the 30s for a brief time tonight. Not expecting any frost, but still cooler than you might expect for the middle of August. We're looking at temperatures tomorrow closer to normal, but still a little bit below average, middle 70s to upper 70s for most of us. We're going to stay in the lower 70s along the Lake Michigan shoreline. So a pretty comfortable day there. As far as the humidity goes, on your Wednesday, it will stay low as well, with our dew point sitting comfortably in the lower half of the 50s. But let's go ahead and take a look at the extended trend here. You'll notice 50s Thursday, Friday, so not too bad. It will be getting a little warmer on both of those days, but as we head into the weekend, mugginess starts to ratchet back up, mid-60s for that dew point temperature on Saturday, and then we're closer to 70 for a dew point on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. When you're above 60 degrees, you start to feel the humidity, and when you hit 70 or even in the upper 60s, that is just very sticky, almost miserable air to be out and about in, and of course, when you get the high heat along with that, you certainly do bring in the potential for some heat-related illnesses where you could be heat index mid-90s. It's not as bad as it can be. I think we've hit the century mark at least once for a heat index this summer, but that's probably about it. We really have had some muggy stretches, but it hasn't been too hot. I'd have to go back and look and see what the hottest afternoon that we have had, but we've only been in the 90s a handful of times. So certainly we've had hotter summers, but there have definitely been some muggy stretches to this one. So your temperature trend follows a very similar look to that dew point in that, we'll see a slow rise through Friday and then kind of a little bit of a spike into the weekend. When you've got dew points that are in the upper 60s, forecast highs upper 80s to around 90, low to mid 90s for a heat index would certainly appear reasonable. So that's what we're going to be heading into as we go through this weekend. Speaking of the weekend, we do have the only Packers preseason game this Saturday. It's a noon kickoff. Warm and humid, but hey, it's not Sunday or Monday, so it's not going to be as uncomfortable as it could be. We will see temperatures still in the 70s for the tailgaters. Kickoff temperature right around 80 degrees, and then mid 80s as everything is winding down. That south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour will aid in getting that higher humidity in place. In fact, the humidity probably increases during the day. So if you're out there tailgating at Lambeau, maybe it's not too uncomfortable, but by the time the game is ending, it's going to be stickier than it will be in the morning. So bear that in mind. It's going to be turning a little bit more uncomfortable, and you'll definitely want to stay hydrated if you will be out in that heat. Of course, it does get worse as we head into the start of the new week. Let's see, I've got my heat index graphic in here. Let's see, I may not have adjusted this one yet. So let's go ahead and we'll nudge the numbers up here just a little bit to kind of match up with my forecast. So we'll go ahead and add about 4 or 5 degrees to it, and let's just have that go. I might even have to reset that. We've got the Democratic National Convention on our main air. It's definitely going to push us on late tonight. I can make adjustments to graphics just so that it kind of lines up with the numbers that I would be forecasting, and so I had to bump up the heat index forecast on the model just because it was showing upper 80s, and that's my forecast high is upper 80s. So with the humidity tacked on, it's going to be a couple degrees warmer. I might have to reset this before we go on because last night, if you were up with us late, actually got caught with the day change on my 7-day forecast. First time that one's happened here since I've been in Green Bay, where we were on so late that at the tail end of the show, all my days jump forward by one just because it's automatically built into the forecast graphic that I use to do that. So here are your forecast heat indices on Sunday afternoon, lower to middle 90s. You'll notice the numbers kind of dropping off as we go through time there, but right back into the low to mid 90s by Monday afternoon. So a very uncomfortable feel. I know Green Bay public schools are going back on Monday, so when the kids are out in that heat, you definitely want to try and give them a shady place if they're going to be waiting for a bus. I know the public schools in Green Bay all have air conditioning, but there could be some that in the region that do not. So you'll want to check in with your local school district just to see if they have any heat-related plans. I know Green Bay is going back a little earlier than some just because of the draft coming up in April. Wanted to give the kids a week off around that. So I know we're starting a little earlier in Green Bay versus Appleton. But still, we do have some schools that are already going. So again, check with your local district, see if they have any special plans or things going on because of the heat. You might find it just as simple as outdoor activities get moved inside, and in some cases, you're just dealing with it and make sure anybody doing any coaching or things like that, kids need to take those water breaks and get some time to rest just to keep it safe. So you definitely want to take the heat seriously. We've been this hot before in the summer, so it's nothing that we're not accustomed to, but it has been a little while since we have had the combination of heat and humidity just like this. So be safe out there. Make sure that you're paying attention to your body. If you're going to be working in the heat, again, take breaks as often as you can. Get into some air conditioning. That's even better than just the shade. And make sure you're drinking plenty of water or sports drinks as well. You want to kind of avoid the caffeinated beverages and the alcohol, as that can dehydrate you, and that is not a good thing in this heat. So I'll leave you with the extended Super 7-day forecast here. In fact, before we do that, let's go ahead and I will show you that next weather maker. Leading into it, our chance for a few showers on Friday. What you'll notice here, the rain chances more widespread earlier in the day to our north and west. As we get into the afternoon and evening in northeastern Wisconsin, a lot of that rain kind of just fizzles out. There could be a few stray showers here and there, but we're not looking at a lot of heavy widespread rainfall on Friday. There'll be a great number of us that say totally dry. Still comfortable on Friday, a little warmer, but it will be hotter this weekend. The humidity starts to build on Saturday, and then Sunday through Tuesday is the roughest of this stretch of incoming hot weather. We should see that heat gradually subside through the middle and end of next week. We'll see you on Action 2 News. Normal start would be 10 o'clock, but I know we've got the DNC going on tonight, so that will push us on late. We will have our coverage immediately following the Democratic National Convention. So keep it right here on WBAY TV2. And if you can't catch the late shows, Chief Meteorologist Steve Balon will be in, well, it's still dark and early at 4:30 in the morning, but he'll have the next update to the forecast. And again, I would expect more talk of this high heat and humidity coming our way into next week. Hope you have a great night.